Apple and McDonald's and Nike may not allow me to use their logo.
Steve and SEMPLE and I are back for another Sticky Sales Stories, and this one is weird.
A Canadian bank.
Like banks in general, come on, be honest. They're like we've seen insurance companies kick it, do some really good things. We've seen like the big players. We've shown a bunch of stuff like that. We talked about our little bit of marketing knowledge that we have because we're that's what we do. But this is a Canadian bank, and banks don't really tell good stories.
They don't tend to have great advertising.
It's like how many people go to an accountant to get their marketing program built, right? Like it doesn't really fit. But this is pretty cool. There's gonna be images flying around the screen as we talk to this one. Steve, talk to me, man. Like,
couple of things. This is an ad for the concept of fractional shares, which can be a difficult idea to explain at the best. TD, I don't know if anybody else has entered the market yet, but when TD started this advertising, TD was the first to offer fractional shares, which basically what a fractional share means you don't even have to buy a full share. So in other words, if the share is trading for $200, you only got $20 to invest, you can literally buy a small piece of a share, which also means you're speaking to a lot of new investors. So how do you reach them? So what they suddenly realized, great, wait, look, we all do stuff outdoors. So they wanted to reach them through outdoor advertising, through billboards.
Well, billboard signage,
that sort of thing. But outdoor advertising, because guess what? Outdoor, we all do crap outdoors. But how do you convey that? But think about this now. Fractional shares from TD Bank, I can own a small piece of a company. How do I advertise that? And on top of that, Apple and McDonald's and Nike may not allow me to use their logo because they're like, I always have to ask for permission on the logo. So how do I convey you can buy a fractional share Nike without using the logo in outdoor advertising? That's the challenge. Holy crap.
Okay, so listen, guys, nothing has come up on screen yet, and there's a little bit of suspense play here, but we're going to put a pause. We're not, Steve, and we're going to just put up a couple of images, and then we'll come back.
Perfect.
And then we can talk. Okay, watch these.
Let it roll.
The panning out, so you could only finally see the small part of the logo.
Yeah, which also conveys is different fraction. Like, it is so I can now use the Apple logo, and I've talked to Apple about it because I'm really not using the Apple logo. I just have a hole.
I took a picture of my sign. Guys. What are you talking about? Yeah.
I thought it was incredibly clever way of conveying a really complex topic in very few words. And they also leaned into this idea that we've seen McDonald's do. McDonald's has been doing this for a little while now with their billboards, where they'll only show a portion of the arch.
Yes.
And what McDonald's knows is we show a portion of the golden arch, they fill in the rest, they know it's the golden arch. Same thing with that sign. You walk by and you see a little slice of the Apple logo, you know it's Apple.
Exactly. Well, and I like because they used international brands, which is great. So Apple, Nike,
Starbucks.
That sort of thing. Starbucks, but they also use Tim Hortons in the campaign, and Lululemon, which I guess is international, but it's Canadian started brand from Vancouver. So like the idea of being able to use frameline magnetism to which is a glamour play, and we should do an episode on glamour. I've been talking about it lately, doing a glamour play. Where you're not showing the whole thing, and you're letting the brain do the rest of the work, which it draws you into the marketing, it draws you into the advertising, draws you into the picture. It's actually meant for photographs and a whole bunch of other things. To use glamour with banking, it just doesn't seem right. But wait a second. Ogilvy, the agency, had something to do with this.
Oh yeah, that was their campaign.
Like this is guys, if you want to do something right, you find the absolute experts at the thing that you want done right. And Ogilvy, obviously, I mean they're a massive company, a massive marketing firm, and they work with massive businesses like that. But come on, it was so meticulously thought out. How are we going to do all the things we need to do in the most simple form?
Like when you think about that list I created at the beginning, here's the objectives to meet. It almost breaks your brain.
Right.
In terms of how do I do it.
And
that
then
is how amazing this is, because you could check all of those boxes.
They put it into a box. They literally made it into a square, dude. Like, they made it into this. It was so concise that it breaks my brain. You showed me and I immediately went, yes. I didn't even read through it. I went, yes. Like, interesting immediately they nailed it.
Yep. Brilliant.
Okay.
Well done.
So what's the takeaway? Like, how does somebody walk away from Sticky Sales Stories today and get something from this?
Well, I think, so first of all, there's lots of creative things you can do without outdoor advertising. I love outdoor advertising. Outdoor advertising is great. The problem I have with most outdoor advertising, it's way too many words and it's just boring and it's way too much. You do need to do some creativity around it. You need to make your messages short, and you just got to really work to make that happen. But when you do that, outdoor advertising can be very effective, because also outdoor advertising, when you measure it on a per impression repetition basis, is very inexpensive. Like, it is like you get a really good bang for your, like, a well done billboard in a highly visible location gives you actually pretty good bang for your buck. The reason why a lot of businesses can't use it, it's very difficult to distill it down into something as simple as that. But if you are able to, outdoor advertising is really great. If you're not able to, you need to look at other forms of advertising. But do not discount the power of outdoor advertising.
Well, Jay Mistry, who is one of our Wizard Ads partners and is an artist, he's been working on our campaign for billboards for Seaside Plumbing. Yeah, and his last 3 boards were exactly that. And you know what? I'm gonna throw them up. They'll intermix here. But like guys, the idea of getting 2 or 3 words, 5 words, 6 words at max, maybe 8 if you really, really have to, that make people feel something, make them understand what you're trying to get at right away. If you can do that, I think that's what's brilliant. You've got to bring it. What we said about the TD one, they made this big, massive concept with all of these, complexities into the most simplest form. That's the thing. People don't want to learn stuff. They want to know stuff.
That is the creative challenge. The creative challenge is, how do you do this as simply as possible with as few words as possible? That's the creative challenge to outdoor.
Exactly. And listen, there's some pride in this one. I've got to say, we're both Canadian people. And it's a Canadian bank, and we don't think any banks have really done this very well. So, way to go, TD. We're really proud of you, right?
Well done.